Security Now Illustrated by AskMisterWizard.com, illustrating concepts, mechanisms, and algorithms from the amazing Security Now podcast by Steve Gibson and Leo LaPorte. This is segment A, the first of two segments in episode 13 on WPA Wi-Fi security. Security Now episode 13, from back in November of 2005, was written as a follow-on to episode 11. While both episodes deal with Wi-Fi security, the foundation laid in episode 11 on the failings of MAC address filters, SSID hiding, and web encryption is essential for setting the scene of this episode 13. If you haven't already seen all of our video segments illustrating episode 11, we recommend that you do so in order to set the scene for the new material to be presented here. Everything in this episode can be visualized in the context of this view, showing several LANs using Wi-Fi and Ethernet to connect with the worldwide Internet. In prior episode 11, Steve and Leo described the well-known weaknesses of several Wi-Fi security theories and mechanisms that really don't work. As they introduced this episode 13, Steve gave assurances that those problems have been solved with the newer WPA system of Wi-Fi encryption. Administrators that are activating WPA will need to make several choices as they configure their Wi-Fi access points. Wi-Fi access points are configured through a web browser, as described in the AskMisterWizard.com video clip entitled Configuring Your Network Equipment with Your Web Browser.
I'd just like to understand all the flavors, all the players involved, and then if you would, can you talk about the pros and cons of each?
Yes. Okay, so with WPA, we have either a static pre-shared key or, in corporate environments, keys which are being assigned by a centralized server where the users authenticate themselves with their own password and credentials. Then the server creates the keys used for their connection. No users at home or even in a small office environment are going to see that or be involved with it. But I wanted just to say that it exists and it's there, and it's super high-grade security.
And the purpose of that is to keep people from snooping on each other within the network.
Correct. Also, if you had an ex-employee who left and had the knowledge of what that pre-shared key, a single global pre-shared key was, that would create a vulnerability also.
Right.
So in a corporate environment, this WPA using a central server for like key distribution solves cross-user snooping and the problem of keys not expiring from people being fired or leaving the company and so forth.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
So in a home environment, everyone is going to be using a single pre-shared key, which is completely safe, as long as the passphrase that generates the key is safe, and that we'll talk. That's how we'll wrap up our dialogue here in a few minutes.
Okay.
But first, I'll say that. So we have the issue of a single key or dynamically assigned keys. Everybody in the home is going to be using a single pre-shared key. Then another aspect of WPA is which encryption technology is being used. Older hardware, which is not as strong, will tend to be using the RC4 encryption, which has been made safe by changing its keys all the time using something called TKIP, the Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. TKIP makes RC4 safe, where it wasn't safe before in WEP legacy-style encryption. Alternatively, newer hardware that is stronger might be capable of using a different cryptography technology called AES. So, for example, my new Belkin router does offer me AES encryption. So if the XP client that I was using also supported AES, I might choose to use it. It is more processor intensive, technically it will be putting more of a load on my computer. I haven't chosen to use it because TKIP is absolutely safe enough. It is a more efficient technology and protocol, and if someone came over with a slower laptop who I wanted to briefly allow to join my network, TKIP is for sure what they're going to be able to use within this WPA umbrella.
Okay.
So that really wraps up the choices.
And I guess the key is you got to kind of know what your security needs are, and you can choose. But for most home users, any form of WPA would be good enough, yes?
Yes, and exactly. So the lowest common denominator will be WPA with a pre-shared key using TKIP technology encryption, which drives RC4.
To see the other segments and related resources for this episode, please join us at www.AskMisterWizard.com. Select Security Now Illustrated from the prominent section index at the top of our homepage, and then select the episode from the menu at the bottom. The original audio-only version of this podcast can be found on the Gibson Research Corporation site at grc.com/securitynow. This clip illustrates some of the highlights from that show. This video clip comes from a large collection of related clips. All are indexed and easy to find at www.AskMisterWizard.com, along with related items, text articles, illustrations, and forums. Please visit us today. We appreciate your support. Thank you.